Hi everyone, Chris and Tommy here. Well, we're here to do a Cobra Kai review. Now, if you don't know what Cobra Kai is, it's a YouTube Red series that's pretty awesome, and it's based off the Karate Kid, starring Ralph Macchio, William Zaka, and a whole bunch of other kids that are pretty awesome. Tommy, what is Cobra Kai about?
Cobra Kai takes place years after Karate Kid ended, where Daniel is a successful car salesman and Johnny is living in Reseda and is a repairman and winds up losing his job.
So what happens then, Tommy?
So then he goes on this downward spiral where he's driving around and always sees Daniel's face everywhere, and it pisses him off. Johnny goes on a downward spiral after losing his job, and one night he's outside eating some pizza when a young man is being jumped by some bullies, and he protects this kid, and then the kid persists and persists for him to teach him karate. At first he says no, and then eventually he says yes and reopens Cobra Kai to teach a new generation of the way of the Cobra. Well, Daniel doesn't quite like this and doesn't think that Johnny has changed. So their feud continues on in Cobra Kai.
From what their feud started back in Karate Kid and stuff, and it opens up old doors. So basically, and then these students get involved. It's a rivalry between the Russos and Cobra Kai.
And throughout all this, goes back to reflect on what he was taught by Mr. Miyagi and finds himself training a new student in the ways that he was taught.
Which is Johnny's son. So Johnny has a son in the series that doesn't want anything to do with him because Johnny's son thinks he's a deadbeat dad and doesn't have it together and is not responsible. So basically, Daniel ends up training Johnny's son, and Daniel doesn't realize that he is training Johnny's son. So what are other good things about the series, Tommy?
Other good things is, even though after he finds out that it is Johnny's kid, at the All Valley Under 18 tournament, at the end, he winds up coaching him in the finals.
We're not going to spoil it for you, but there is going to be a season 2. What are some bad things about the series that you really didn't like?
What I really didn't like is how they introduced Johnny into the series. That I didn't quite, and some of the stuff they had him do, which we will not talk about. Yeah, I didn't quite like that part. I kind of wish they introduced him a little more. I mean, they could still have him as a deadbeat, but in a more light way. That's okay. One.
Explain it a little more light way. I mean, it's okay to talk about what he did in the series. It's kind of like a little spoiler, but yeah.
So basically, he was a jerk. He did some vandalism to one of Daniel's posters for his dealership. He also acts like a jerk to his ex-wife.
Right, and those are some dislikes that Tommy has. Some of my dislikes that I have is they didn't let Daniel's daughter be in the tournament. I think that she should have trained a little bit more with Daniel, and not only train a little bit more with Daniel, but be more into karate for them to be closer. That's what I did not like. The things that I did like was the All Valley State tournament under 18. I also liked how they introduced Johnny to the story. I like how they showed Ralph, and what I really like out of the series is how they paid a tribute to Mr. Miyagi in episode 5, Counterbalance. Now that was good. I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but that was really awesome to have that in the series, to where they basically did a tribute to Mr. Miyagi, how special he was to the original movie and how special he was to Daniel. And I also like how basically Daniel taught his daughter to do karate. And I like a lot of different things, such as the kind of job, the kind of success that you see Daniel at. I also like how the story plot is between rivalry and enemy. I like how John Kreese came in, and I'm not going to tell you what part. If you haven't seen the series, John Kreese makes a cameo. Martin Cove, yes, he is an awesome actor. He played the John Kreese character very, 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 very well. So, those of you that have not seen it, yes, John Kreese makes a cameo and talks to Johnny. Moving into season 2, Tommy, where do you think season 2 is going to go? Who do you think is going to show up? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think that they might develop a little bit with his appearance, Johnny Kreese appearance. They might, give him, some lines and roll with him for a couple of episodes. I think that. I also think that Daniel might do both, have his car dealership, but also on the side do some train more kids to enter in the tournament next year.
And I also think for season 2, there's going to be a rematch from the Karate Kid. I think things are going to get heated up so personal that basically we're going to see rematch. Hopefully, maybe there'll be teacher versus teacher, and as for sparring, maybe we'll see the same thing play out. We don't know.
I also think that there might be a possibility of Johnny and his son reconciling.
Right. I also think that, from Karate Kid 3, bad boy Mike Barnes may show up and play the bad boy again. But we don't know what side he's going to choose. We don't know what side he's going to be on. That would be cool. And not only that, so we don't even know if Terry Silver is going to show up, but that would be very, very awesome for season 2 if Terry Silver showed up, from part 3 that played as the bad guy.
To wrap it up with about season 1, overall, I do like the whole how the whole plot, rounded itself out. And like I said, I also do agree with Chris. I did like the ending of this first season with the tournament. Thanks for watching our review, and we'll do another one when season 2 comes out.
Exactly. Leave a comment down on the section down below how you like Cobra Kai, or if you've even seen it, or what your favorite thing about the Karate Kid movies were, part 1, part 2, part 3. This has been a Next Level Productions.
The channel takes you to the next level.
Alright, bye everyone.
Bye.